This is Turbo Concept here, and this game was called F1 2018 Platin, and these cars are not the way harder to drive, and it's gonna be more harder than we have some of these spawners, and this is not looks like I think it's not Castor Colonial, and it looks pretty like Imola, and it's not from Italy, so when you think it was the Dutch Grand Prix, so this is not even in Netherlands, and we got some players are not allowed in the podium, so we got some spawners going on here, and we got some even lots of things that I'm going to be spawn for the Red Bull. So if I'm going to be spawning one at a time, so we got absolutely there is one Red Bull Aston Martin, and the next one looks like it must be the Toro Rosso. So the blue one, on the other hand, was actually Toro Rosso for the Honda itself. And right in front there is the Red Bull Aston Martin and the Toro Rosso Honda. And next we're looking on to the Ferrari. And this must be not my favorite ever. So since in 2018, so I really saw it for the first time since back in 2018 or even just in 2016 or something. So the next thing was the light pink one was the Racing Point, which is renamed from the Force India, and looks like even it's like that for the best watering mark. And the next one is looks like even McLaren or the Renault. Looks like I'm gonna be spawning here, so here is the McLaren right there. And the next one is the Mercedes. The spawners are not even available, and the Williams is not over there, and even Renault or even some kinds of Haas and Alfa Romeo as well. So we're gonna be a last couple of things to do. So we have last 5 F1 teams remaining on this one. So if I'm going to be spawn another one and nothing what to see what it is. And there was another McLaren, another Toro Rosso, another Racing Point, and another Ferrari, and another Red Bull as well. So another things and another F1 cars as well. And nothing you ever see this. And because of that, there is another team backup, and this must be the teammates of these F1 cars or something. And a lot of F1 teams race there in this, and the track changes nothing. And so on. I'm going to be starting with off the Red Bull or even Toro Rosso, and I won't be able to drive, so even I'm going to be starting for Ferrari. So let's start the McLaren. There is no Alfa Romeo, no Haas, no Renault, no Williams, and no Mercedes as well. So if you're going for an onboard view, you realize your car might be disappeared, so you can absolutely go in the front view, so you cannot able to see like this because it was literally swearing. So we're doing starting for the outlap, and this is gonna be a little bit hard, but more harder than it gets away. So if you're gonna be pull yourself into the Imola, and it looks like it's not from India or even just Italy, and I just crashed myself during outlap. Here we go, we're gonna be starting off with lap number 1, so this is gonna be painless, and this is deadly right away, and I absolutely hit that wall in front of the corner before the hairpin turn, so I cannot able to hit the brakes before I'm going to just to get a turn. And looks like it's compared to the Robloxia Grand Prix, which is very impossible and a little bit impossible as well. So this is impossible to steer, and looks like because of the old games makes it too much. And looks like this track is look like Dutch, and even this is not able for going to even the Italy track, and this is not Imola, and this is not Santa Marino, and it was absolutely nothing whatever we do. And this is so hard, and it's gotta be more impossible. So in final corners, it's safe to do so that you might able to just turn, and I just went accidentally back into the pits and move on to the second lap, but I've really failed for so much. But I just spin out for the first corner because the McLaren just spawned out, and when I despawn my McLaren, and absolutely do so. So if I jump out of this Red Bull car, so actually that I jump out of the McLaren and despawns it in 0.5 seconds, that I'm going to be jumping around, then the car despawns, and let's going to be respawn once again, so the Red Bull will be respawned back. And let's get driving with this Red Bull, and nothing you can see this, and it won't be able to get happen again. So these cars and all of these cars are more impossible to drive compared to the Robloxia Grand Prix. So let's get out of here and let's start with the bad laps and very impossible to do lap times, and this lap is gonna be much more worth it, and it's gonna be invalid for this time. So remember, if you're going for an onboard view, you realize you might get in trouble during lap times. So whatever you do, so you cannot able to just going an onboard view, because one developer just trying to make itself was until you press V on the F1 2021, you might able to see you can drive able for lap times, and I almost just cut the corner, and I just completely not going to be waste some time, and we're not going to be completing some lap times until it's on for this today. Let's get on with starting for the few lap times later. And I just crashed this wall for the first corner because I swear it is impossible to steer. And here comes that wildly sharp corner for a little bit, and almost thing that I able to do anyways. And you can see the sun shining above you, and trying to I won't able to see this because if I'm going to be steering, it locks up forever and anytime it goes. And because of this lap time was absolutely nonsense. And this is so much not very good at this one, because if I'm going to be steer, it locks up for too much. And I mean, this is not a locks up for too much, it locks up for so many times if I'm going to do a make it turn, and which is not going to be safe to do anyways. And I almost cutting that corner, and I just feel a little bit stressful. This car is going to be almost stuck, but we're almost there that the lap times will be over. It looks like we're going to do a final couple of corners. So if that car is when you actually crash into it, and because I swear and nothing whatsoever, because I spin out nothing to spin out, and we just fail for another lap, and the lap time won't count. So I'm gonna try this again, and I crashed the wall once again. We quickly went back into the pits when the F1 tried not to retire with this, and because I respawned the Formula 1 2018, we're not trying the Toro Rosso, so, and the last thing that we need to do, so we're gonna be trying a Ferrari, but not last at least. So let's take it this one, and we're not going to be seeing an onboard view, so you remember to see this onboard view and might get in trouble. And let's get right things into the action, because how many times that I have to say this, and during this out loud, so I might able to get crashed by myself for so many times, and a few minutes later, this is nothing that I can do. So let's get down here, Ferrari, and let's see for this even a painful lap time. So I finished the first corner and the second corner as well, and looks like I might did a good job, and we're coming up to the P1 by itself, and I hit that wall, and looks like we're coming up another turn and with some little bit of curves, but I'm still having a bad luck for a bad time. So the top speed is 289, faster than the F1 2017, the current. And we're absolutely going into this sharp corner before final turns on the final exit. So this must be the waste of times. And I just finally made something for a waste of time. So this is not a little bit big of waste of lap times. And this is gonna be a big waste of times of lap times. So a little bit lap times later. So I just completely continuously Unfortunately, we just not finished the lap times as well, so looks like I'm heading back into the pits. So when I returned the Ferrari, so I realized I might able to reset the character. So if I'm going to be resetting my character, because due to the oof changes, that changes summary love like this, and because it turns out it's gotta be not very good as well, and it sounds not good as well because it sounds like a sexual content. And let's get right back into the pits right now. So it's time to get back here. So if I'm going to get back in here, so and since for the first time when I was using this one, and instead of this McLaren, this one, and should be returning back into the pits. So looks like the Ferrari is heading back into the pits and target right straight into in, and I just hit the barrier, and due to my return for just sometimes. So let's get him back into the pits, and I did so much whatsoever. And let's get right back here, and this is nothing that I'm going to be saying like this. I jump out of the car and I just respawn it because I just despawned this car. So maybe that's it for today's video. So I hope you enjoyed that. I'm going to get inside the podium. So well, I'm not allowed to get inside because due to there's premium somethings only. So it's not better to do anyway. So I'm going to get out of here as such a thing. And because of this one, because actually I wanted to drive a Toro Rosso because I can't. So what happens if you go inside there? You realize there must be a termination account inside it when you're not going inside with this podium. So it is not allowed to go inside and get up here right into the top, and it must be the Dutch Grand Prix. So I'm out of here at this moment. You can see the Discord board when I was in the beginning of this video. So there must be a Discord board right over here, and there was one username right over there. So if you enjoy for this one, make sure the game link is in the description below. So you have to check it out with this game down into the description right here. So you guys, I hope you enjoy for this one. So you guys, absolutely thank you for watching and for all your support, which will be Turbo Concept will be signing off, and I'll talk to you all later as well.